Jagudev, everybody. Wish you all a happy and blessed Narasimha Chaturdashi. I was asking and reflecting upon, actually, what shall I say about Narasimha? You all know very much about Narasimha. All these years we've been talking about Lord Narasimha, you know. And as Bhagwan, in the form of Lord Narasimha, that we are celebrating today, you see, why Lord Narasimha appeared, you know. He appeared for the call of a little boy, you know. Prahlad Maharaj, which by the grace of his guru, Narada, who instruct him in chanting the name of Srimad Narayana. So for Prahlad, each moment of his life was Narayana. Each moment, whatever he's doing, was always absorbed in remembering of Bhagwan. So Prahlad remind us of how we should try to become. You see, to become like Prahlad, one thing which is very important is faith. We see people say, yes, we have faith. Guruji, we have faith. In whatever you say, we have faith. We have faith in whatever happened, we have faith. But when it happened, you see how their faith shake under their feet. You know? It shakes so much, but very quickly, they can forget about the Guru. Very quickly, they can forget about all the experience they have had. And I have seen that so many times. Not one time, you know, countless of time. Do you think Prahlad didn't go through tremendous test in his life? It's a small life. He didn't have that intelligence like you wise people are. You know? But in spite of that, he stood strongly upon his faith. And due to that faith itself, Bhagwan himself ran to his rescue. He didn't need to ask Srimad Narayana, but please Bhagwan, please rescue me. No, that's what we all do because of our lack of faith. Something happened in our life, how we become? Very shaky. We turn, please save me, I can't go through that. But why are you going through that? Of course, each person has their own karma. And we are responsible for that, you know. It's not that somebody else is pushing you to do something. No, it is your karma itself. Your happiness, your sadness don't depend on anybody. We think in our mind, psychologically, because we are a bit screwed in our head, we think that our happiness depends on somebody. No, actually, no. It depends entirely upon us. We have that choice, you see, to be happy or not to be happy. Prahlad Maharaj, he chose in any situation to see only Srimad Narayana, to remind himself of Srimad Narayana. Whether the situation is good, whether it is favorable or it is not favorable, he focused upon the lotus feet of Bhagwan. And this is an example which we have to remind of ourselves, you know. But whatever happened, it is, firstly, we have done it. By our own choice, we did it. And whatever, if we plant the seeds, if the seed is not right, if it grow, we can't expect something wonderful to come out of it. So if you are planting a seed which is negative, you can't expect your life to be happy, joyful, bear a fruit which is sublime. No. Of course, for a short time, you will fake yourself, because you see the delusion what people go through. They tell themselves the lie, and they believe their own lie and tell it outside, make the lie big outside, so that they can feel good with it. They can feel good with themselves in their pity, miserable self. They will never say that I am very miserable. No, I am doing it for Loka Sangraha. I am going to save the world. And this is the stupidity of people. They can't even save themselves. They want to save everybody else. You know? Faith is something different. Faith is about completely trusting. You throw yourself into the mercy of Bhagwan. You know? You throw yourself in such instant that no matter what, you know He's guiding you. He's holding your hand and guiding every of your step. Bhagwan precede you. In spite of in the test itself, He's standing there. He's never left His devotee alone. A few days ago, one Prabhu was talking, telling me actually, was in Latvia, that, you know, soon is Narasimhadev Chaturdashi. Oh, Lord Narasimhadev is very dear to me. And I said to, please tell me. Because very rare you hear that Lord Narasimhadev is very dear to me. He said, look, I was working and I had a very nice job, but the people around me was very nasty. People were very jealous and they put lots of problem into my life. They gossip, they talk bad, they try to ruin him. So I was listening. So then he said, then I heard about the mantra. Narasimhadev, Ugram Vira Mahavishnum Jwalandam Sarvato Mukham Narasimham Bhishanam Badram Mrityam Mrityam Mamamiham. So he said, I started chanting this mantra. And funny thing is that the people didn't change, but I changed. How I view them changed. It didn't bother me. Whatever they were doing, it didn't bother me. But what have transformed, that inner strength which was dormant inside, that got awakened. That transformation, when we are talking about transformation, you see, it's not in the outside transformation, but it is the inside transformation. And when you are connected to that inner transformation, you are connected to the divine becomes everything. You know, every moment, wherever you are, Bhagwan is with you. Each breath of you becomes His name constantly. It's not only you chanting His name, He's also remembering you. You become so dependent on each another. He also can't live without you, and you can't live without Him. In the life of Tukaram Maharaj, there's a beautiful story. Once he had some urgent job to do somewhere, so he had to go for 7 days. And during that time, it said that Vitthal, because you see in Dehu, there is Vitthal Rukmini, which Tukaram Maharaj's grandfather installed. And that also was self-manifested. So that deity, they have a very dear, you see, when we talk about the deity, we talk about that dearness, that closeness, which each one have with the deity. You see, a deity is not just, oh, you know, I'm worshipping him, that's it. No. But there is that closeness, that dearness with the deity, which Tukaram Maharaj himself have with Panduranga, with Vitthala. So when he left, of course, Bhagwan is with him everywhere. No, somebody will say, if he has a story, will say that Bhagwan is not there. No, Bhagwan is with him, but that dearness, that dearness of relationship. If you have built a relationship with Bhagwan, Bhagwan wants also to be part of whatever you do. So he was crying, he stopped eating. So when Pujari would bring the food to be offered in the temple, he will, see, when you have a certain feeling that Bhagwan have accepted the food, you know he have accepted. When you have the feeling that yes, he have not accepted the food, you can see it. Sometimes you look at your deity itself, you see your deity is happy or is not happy. Sometimes you have a big smile on the face, sometimes you don't have a smile on the face. Because of what is inside of you. Bhagwan reflected on the outside. So that's how the relationship with Bhagwan is, So when Tukaram came back after 7 days, he heard that Vitthal have not eaten, was not sleeping, he's go in depression probably. He rushed quickly to the temple and gave a big hug to Vithala and said, Bhagwan, I know what have happened. I had left and I didn't tell you that I was leaving. Forgive me. I will not go again. If I go, I will always ask you. And that is such bhakti, such devotion, which Bhagwan himself, you see, when Prahlad said, yes, when Hiranyakashipu said, is he in that pillar? I don't need to go into the detail of that. Hiranyakashipu said, yes, is he in that pillar? In the eyes of Prahlad, Bhagwan is everywhere. He said, yes, he's everywhere. He's in the pillar, he's in you, he's in that fruit, he's in the tree. So Bhagwan, you see, shows in that he is in his creation. There is not a single place that he don't prevail now. And he will manifest. When we have that gratitude inside of ourselves, we have that faith inside of our heart, and we know that Bhagwan is with us. It doesn't matter which form Bhagwan come. We will recognize him. Because there's such a relationship between Bhagwan and Bhakta. And Bhakta, when you call yourself a devotee, I was telling a story last time, when what is a devotee? We call ourselves devotee. Devotee vibrate a different vibration. Devotee recognize Bhagwan in whatever form, It is not that when you worship Krishna, he have to come in the form of Krishna. Of course, you have your faith in Krishna. You have your love for Krishna. You have your relationship with Krishna. You have other have with Ram, other have with Lord Nrsingadev, or other aspect of Bhagwan, But the devotee doesn't become narrow-minded. Leela may be different, because Leela is nothing to understand with the mind. When we talk about Bhagwan's Leela, you see, one thing we read about it in Bhagavad, we read about it in the life of all the great saints. But Leela, we can't understand the Leela of Bhagwan with the mind. Leela transcends the mind itself. Leela happen in the heart. When your heart is open, Bhagwan become available. When your heart calls for him, your heart is longing. You don't need to utter the word outside. You don't need your mind to think about it. It happened naturally. Prahlad just say, yes, he is in the pillar. So Bhagwan, to show that he's omnipresent, he's everywhere. He have to come out from that pillar. And when the good things happen in our life also, you see, when Bhagwan come out from a pillar, which means our heart is like a pillar itself, But we don't see him. We have made our heart so, like a stone, so hard, through our mind, we have covered it, keep putting cover and cover, cover and cover over it. But we don't perceive it. But Bhagavan is waiting, you know. Whatever good we do in our life, you see, that's what brings him out. It is said that when you are good, when you do something good, good will happen to you. But when it will happen, you don't know about it. You see, very often I have heard that, oh, you know, I've been so good, I will always be good with people, but why bad thing happened to me? Yes or no? Yeah? Many of you have said that, you know. Many of you have think about it. You know, even right now when I'm talking, how many are thinking, no, it's not true. But we have seen that constantly in life, you know. We have the choice whether to do good or not to do good. We have the choice whether we want to be good or we don't want to be good. This is our choice. We want to be negative. Don't expect good things to ever happen into your life. Maybe right now you're vigorous, you're strong, you're full of force, energy. You're running around in the world, yes, like I'm the king, I'm the queen, I'm the princess, or whatever you are, you know. Very with your egos, without any measure, you're running around. Yeah. But will come a time, what you have given to the world will be given back to you. If you have given good things to the world, you have given good things to nature, that will come back to you. This is the nature of goodness itself, you know. Whatever you do will come back to you. Whatever seeds you have planted, that's what you will harvest, you know. I haven't told you, there's a beautiful story which once I have read about. About goodness. Oh my goodness, it's not coming. Yes. Once there was one student studying in the university. And 18 years old, he was busy with his study. But he was an orphan, he didn't have house, he didn't have anything. He didn't know how to pay his university. So he had an idea, you know. He will organize a concert. And they will hire the best pianist for the concert. Like that, whatever revenue come, they will pay the pianist and the profit, they will use it for their own study. So him and his friend said, fine. So they approached the manager of the pianist. He was a Polish pianist by the name of Padowski, something like that. Padowski or Padowski. Please, Polish people, Padowski. Padowski, whatever, Tomski. So they approach him and ask him if, ask the manager. And the manager agreed, said yes. You know, they asked also the pianist, he said, I agree, yes. And at that time, 1892, it was. So they asked the two students, the manager said that it will cost them $2,000. And he said, okay, fine. You know, they will try to sell as much ticket as possible so that they can make enough money to pay. So they arranged everything on the day of the concert. They didn't sell enough ticket. There was only $1,600. So they didn't know what to do. So they went to Padowski and offer him the whole money, $1,600, and they made a check of $400. I said, we will give you You know, they were just in their thing. They said, we don't have the money, we'll try our best and we will give you, I say, the 400 also after, you know. So they did end up with nothing, you know, even with the debt. So, Paderewski, when he heard that, he said, well, he took the check and he teared the check, threw it away. And he gave them the 1,600. They were shocked. They know, you see. They take whatever money you need for your ticket, for your study. Build up your career, you know. And whatever is left, just give it to me. That is fine, you know. So that was what happened. They did their concert. It was wonderful. Time passed. Many years later, Paderewski became the president of Poland. And during that time, World War started. And Poland went through famine, like many places in Europe. And they didn't have anything. The country didn't have any money. And they had to ask. Even India, you know, when... in 1965, you know, was going through great famine, they had to ask. Did they have food only for 2 weeks to feed the whole country? But then they came together and said, no, whatever we have to stand strong. Well, Poland asked America for help. And Paderewski sent a letter to the President of America, Roosevelt, whatever. Was he? Hoover? Yes, Hoover. So he sent him a letter and the President of America agreed with it and sent a lot of food to Poland. So when they have all the food and everything was fine, so the president of Poland decided, I have to go and meet the president of America, you know, and say thank you, you know, to him for the goodness we have done. So after some time he went there and he said to the president, thank you very much, you know, for sending help for the Polish people. At that moment, the president said, no. It is not you who have to thank me. It is me who have to say thank you to you. You may not recall or remember, long time back, some years ago, two persons came to you, you know, and was... asking, you know, was ask you, you're a pianist at that time, you're asking you to play, do a concert, and you help us with our study, you know. You help that two boy with their study. And one of the two boy is me. So you see, whenever you do good, don't think that God don't see it, you know. Whatever good you do, he sees it. Whatever bad you do, that also he sees. And that will come, you see. When the time you're in deep need, the goodness will come back to you. And when the time you least expected, the worst things that you have done will also come back to you. When you see that everything is going wonderful in your life, you know, that bad thing that you have done will come in your life. This is the law of nature, you know. What goes around, come around, you know. So that's what Prahlad Maharaj represents, showing us, you see. When we call ourselves devotee of God, you know, our life must be an inspiration to others. Our life can't be an obstruction. Our life can't be that I put break in somebody's life, or I try to convince somebody else their faith is wrong. You know? My faith is better. My God is better. My aspect of divine what I worship is better. That is for people which is screwed in their head, you know. Devotee don't do that, you know. Devotee feel the love of Bhagwan, you know, and they reflect that love of Bhagwan. Yeah. And devotees don't have any, you see, problem with anybody. Prahlad didn't have any problem with his father. It's just that he didn't believe, you know. But imagine Bhagwan himself come to rescue you. Imagine who will say, yes, Bhagwan have come to kill you. Prahlad, Hiranyakashipu can happily say it. Because once he left this plane, he goes back there when he have done all his thing. He's back as Jaya and Vijaya. No? Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. They're back again into their posts. You know? So that is the nature, is the same, you see. Once we are finished our journey, our little holiday here, which we very often like to extend, you know, at the end of our life, we like to extend it. Life give us experience, you know. But have we used that, what God have given us to reach Him? You know? Have we used this time, you know, what He have done, moment what He have given us, that life which He have given us to forge a relationship with Him, to love Him, to get to know who He is, you know? No, we waste our time. We think that this, okay, I'm happy now. Hey, that is short-term happiness. You don't know when you close down, you know. When a fraction of a moment to finish, everything is gone. So reflect on that, you see. Reflect and look at yourself. You know, I'm not saying that everybody have to become very good people. But when you call yourself a devotee of God, you see, you have to reflect Him. You have to reflect His love. You know? That doesn't mean that you should stop living your life. No, live your life. Because Bhagwan is life Himself, you know. He don't stop anybody to live their life. Live your life. But change your attitude. Change how you perceive life itself, you know. How you see your devotion towards Him. Is it increasing? How do you see what your life is into the world? Are you an inspiration to the others? You know, do you vibrate that? Or different? You see, a devotee's life is like this. You know, I'm not telling you that you have to take a book and go around and say, here, listen, you have to go it, otherwise you will go to hell. I'm not saying that, you know. You are not the savior of everybody. Bhagwan is the savior of everyone. You know. You, by your life itself, you are an inspiration to others. You know. They may call you crazy. Yes, it's fine. But you are happy. You see, I have heard so many times, you see, when I was in Bali, some people say, I approached you and I came to you because I see you are all happy people. There are 100 people, but you're all happy people. Walk on the street, you see how many happy people are. They may not understand you. They may not, they may criticize you, may call you by many names. But you are happy people because your happiness is a different kind of happiness. Your happiness comes from Him. You know? And you inspired the people to be happy. So be aware always of when you call yourself a devotee, you know. What is your choice you take in life, you know. So, Jai Gurudev, everybody. Nam Hav Darshan, Lord Nishan Gurudev.